Hi, welcome to this second video on C++ on the Raspberry Pi, and this is still about the 3-bit binary counter. There was a little problem last time and I had not signaled it because when I tried to run it and I noticed there was something wrong on the breadboard, I went to the original experiment, doing everything on the command line. And when you do everything on the command line, you export, and if everything is exported without a problem, you should get no feedback. However, I got the right error, device or resource busy, and of course that is not what you should get. After an export, everything was reset and then I got export without a problem. However, after running my code, the same thing happened again, device or resource busy. As it turned out, I made a small mistake in the class.cpp where the functions are, and when I go up in the code, there are functions export GPIO and unexport GPIO, and accidentally this string definition pointed to export instead of unexport. So after this correction, I ran the code again, and that solved this problem. So that was one thing. However, there is still one very curious problem, and that evolves around GPIO 13, which is the input pin to the GPIO from the switch. If I press the switch, it is supposed to say, okay, now I let the binary counter work. However, for some very odd reason, it doesn't read the value. And even if I, like I do here, I put the input state to 1, which I shouldn't do, but for experiment I do it. Here I say, okay, what is the value of input state? And it says very nicely, if I go down here, here you can see it is very nicely stated as 1. Then it reads the GPIO 13 actual value, and it says 0. So there can be, theoretically that means that the switch isn't okay, but if the switch is not okay, then the value in the Python program should be giving the same. However, let me get it. Where do I have it here? Anyway, running the Python program, it turns out that the switch is working and that the program executes perfectly on the breadboard. So that leaves the question, in the C code, which did work previously, why isn't it working now? And measuring it, measuring the switch and measuring the wires, all turns out perfectly, which is logical because in Python it works. So this is a curious situation where the switch being pressed or not, it reads 0. And this is with all code checked and checked with the original. While it worked before, it doesn't work anymore. So it's debugging with a big question mark. Thank you for watching, and to be continued.